If you have ever asked which is the best state management in Flutter, Provider, Riverpod, GetX, Bloc, now let me tell you something slightly uncomfortable. You're asking the wrong question because choosing state management alone will not make your app scalable, production ready, and clean. What really matters is architecture. Hey everyone, this is Afzal from channel CodeX. If you have seen my past videos, you know that I'm a Flutter developer making mobile applications since 12 years and architecting them, making a large application that serves to millions of the people. And in this video, we're going to break down what is state management, what is architecture, and why the developer confuses between them, and lastly how you can build production ready application with any state management as long as your architecture is solid. By the end of this video, your mindset about Flutter development will completely change. Let's get started. So first, let's target the elephant in the room. What is state management? And that is where a lot of people get confused that state management is something which structures your application, which makes you write a good pattern, and it is the whole core concept of your application. But in reality, state management is just how your UI handles the update. Architecture is something how your application is structured. So let's put that in a real world example. Let's say that you're making a house. So state management is just, a wiring, or it's a connection between all the different rooms. Whereas architecture is the foundation, structure, and the design of your house. Now think about it. Can you make a safe house by just making sure the wiring is perfect, every room is connected? And the simple answer is no. But if your foundations are strong, you can use any wiring system provided by any vendor and still you'll be able to make a good house, isn't it? So now that we have understood what is state management and what is architecture, let's understand what are some common mistakes that developers do. Initially, when we are making application, we choose which state management to go with. Even you will hear this in interview question that if your application is small, go with GetX or Riverpod. But if your application is big, large scale application, go with Bloc. But that's just a state management. You should be choosing architecture first. And even I've heard cases where developers say that I switched from this and this state management to this and my application became fast. Now everything is manageable. That's not how it works. Because what these developers actually do, they write the business logic inside the UI, API calls inside a widget, and forget about separation of concerns. Everything is mixed up, everything is in the same plate. And then they blame the state management for all the mess. Remember, state management is not your problem at this point. Architecture is. Now let's also understand what are some good architecture that you can follow inside your Flutter application to make it scalable, to make it production ready, and you don't have to switch back and forth between different state management. A good architecture means there's a clear separation of concerns. So whenever you write your widget, whenever you write your UI, you are limited to only rendering part. You are only caring about this is the information that I need to present. This is how I will animate it. So you're just dealing with the UI part of the application. And next you should have a domain layer where all the business rules reside. You can write all the use cases, what your application can do, like user can upload profile picture, user can change it, user can delete it. So all these use cases will go inside this domain layer. If you want to add any business rule, like user should not be able to modify profile picture more than 5 times a day, more than 2 times a day, any rule you have for your application, any sort of use case you want to define, that goes inside this layer. And this should be totally independent of Flutter. So you should not be importing material, you should not be importing, Dart.io or some kind of this Flutter dependent package inside this layer. And lastly, but most importantly, you should have a data layer. Now, this layer where you decide where your data will come from. It will come from the API, it will come from the database, it will come from the cache. How you're going to manage your data, talking to the remote system or talking to the local system, that comes inside a data layer. So if your application is having these 3 layers where your UI only cares about the data which is going to be displayed on the UI, then you have a domain layer where you write all your business logic, all your filtration, all your use cases. And then lastly, where you have a separate layer for the data, then you're following a clean architecture. Each layer should only do its job. UI should not care about where the data comes from. Business logic doesn't care about the UI, and the data layer should not worry about how it is being presented. And this is what makes your application scalable, testable, and maintainable. So now that we have understood the whole picture, you may ask, where does state management fits in? The state management comes inside the presentation layer, the UI layer which we discussed, and its only job is to update the UI, hold the state, and whenever there's a change in the data, just notify the user interface. That's it. And here's the final conclusion. You can use any state management, Riverpod, Provider, GetX, Bloc, Mobix, or even set state and still build a clean architecture application, because architecture is independent of state management. State management is just a tool, but architecture is the whole system. If you want, in the next video, I can make a complete Flutter project with clean architecture, showcasing how you can switch between different state management, so you can see how easily it adapts. So let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe channel CodeX.